Hi people, it's been a while since you've seen me. It's really orange in this motherfucker. I think my camera's slowly fucking up, sorry about that. I just thought it was about time that I gave you guys a movie review for once, and I went and saw Transformers 4 Age of Extinction yesterday. And so here's my review on that. I didn't hate it as much as apparently critics seem to hate it. Critics hate this film. I can understand why. Here's the major concern that I had way before this movie was announced. You know, after number 3, Transformers films tend to do well. They tend to do well, particularly in places like Japan and stuff, and it's not any surprise that that's the case. That's the biggest market, closely followed by the US, and then probably us in the UK, with regards to the interest where Transformers lie. Those would probably be the three biggest film markets, well, Europe as a whole, not just the UK. So it would be Asia, US, and then Europe with regards to Transformers. The biggest concern I had is, after number 3, they said that they were going to do a reboot. Shia LaBeouf, what the fuck his name is, he was the guy's been slowly getting phased out of Hollywood for a bit, but that was probably his last major film, and it's been slowly phased out, and they were going to do a reboot. This was the word I heard, a reboot of not necessarily the Transformers, but of the story as a whole, and they were going to go darker. Fantastic stuff. But then I heard that Michael Bay is directing it, and I thought, well, how the fuck does that work? You can't do a reboot and not change the director. It's like Tim Burton doing The Dark Knight. The fuck does that make sense? Surely you have to change the director if you're going to do a reboot of any type of aspect of a film franchise. And that was the problem I had. It was too much like a Michael Bay film. And I'm sorry, I got love for Michael Bay because he directed one of my favourite films in Bad Boys, but that motherfucker hasn't made a decent film in a long time. You needed to have found a different director. That's point 1. Point 2 is these Transformer films last too fucking long. They just do. And I know it's the popular thing for, an action hero film to be over 2.5 hours. It's not fun for us to watch. There are very few action films that are easy 2.5 hours viewing. As much as I loved Avengers, even that I felt was difficult to sit there for 2 hours. I think it was 40 minutes, that film. This is 2 hours 45 minutes. This is a long ass film, and it feels long. It feels long. The longer it goes, and the more loose the story becomes, the longer it goes. And that's the problem. That's problem number 2. Problem number 3, I actually thought Mark Wahlberg was miscast. I thought that initially when they were talking about him being in the role, but I just don't buy him as the character. I didn't buy him as an inventor. Suddenly this inventor knew how to start shooting fucking superhero guns and turned out to be quite good at it, and apparently was able to kind of take out professional, well-trained CIA agents with his outer space gun. Sorry, spoiler alert, I should have said that at the start. There was nothing about the Mark Wahlberg role that kind of I bought into. I didn't even really buy into the fact that he was the father of that particular daughter. There was nothing there. There was no chemistry. There was no father-daughter chemistry there. There was nothing there that I just thought he was completely miscast. I thought they overthought it. And to tell you the truth, that brings me on to that, I think it's the fifth problem, I can't remember. I actually thought, in terms of the cast, it was a bit of a clusterfuck. I know with Transformer films they try and put as many people in, but my gosh, you had the daughter, the daughter's boyfriend, the Stanley, forgotten his name, Stanley's character, Stanley Takushi, I can't remember his name. I quite like him as an actor. You had his character, you had his sexy oriental love interest, I guess, which you didn't really find out anything about. I barely caught her name. You had so many characters in this. You had the daughter's boyfriend, and I just thought to myself, who turned out to be some sort of racing driver, but there was just no, because there were so many fucking characters, there was no character development. And that's the problem. You thought to yourself, oh, okay, alright, okay, alright, and it was just like, what? I don't know. But the thing is, despite all these things that I'm bringing up, I thought it was better than number 2 and number 3. I thought, I hated number 2. I've only seen number 3 once. And apart from Rosie being in it, quite frankly, that bitch cannot act. Shit. They always seem to have Megan Fox type characters in these damn films. Megan Fox, fine, but can't act. Rosie, fine, but can't act. The daughter, marginally a better actor. Marginally. But generally couldn't act. Not as good looking as either of those two. So the problem is that it was just too, they followed a Transformer formula, and if their role is to make money, there is no doubt that this will make money. It will, because it's a Transformers film. But in terms of, if they care about making good films, they need to find another director that isn't fucking Michael Bay. I'm sorry, he cannot make good films. He cannot make good films. He follows the same process in every... You can always tell a Michael Bay film without knowing the credits or anything, and normally that's a good thing. But sometimes you just need to change up your fucking flow. You don't always need a fucking slow-mo turn of a camera to capture the dramatics of the scene. You don't always need to slow down an action scene, which is his fucking trademark. It's one of the reasons why, as much as I loved Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles as a kid, I am dreading seeing this film. And I have to. Because it was part of my childhood. I have to. But I am dreading seeing that film. Because I think it is going to be god-awful. But I don't think, despite everything I was saying, I don't think it was as bad as the critics made out. I just think, personally, what I would like to see, because they're already talking about a 5th film, is, if you're going to make Mark Wahlberg the star, make him the fucking star, because he got lost in the shuffle, in my opinion. Make him front and center, as much as possible, as much as you possibly can with the Transformers. In terms of the Transformers themselves, that's why I personally enjoyed it. I thought the story wasn't too complicated, it was very simple. They introduced a couple of new Transformers, which was quite good. They even kind of brought Megatron back to life under a new name. Again, sorry, spoiler fucking alert. Don't worry, I'll have it, spoiler alert, as the title. They brought Megatron back to life. Watch the film to find out how they're going to do that. It was good stuff, good ABC stuff, in terms of that. But it's a long film, and it feels like a long film. But it's a good watch. Would I go out, and I have a cinema pass that allows me to watch as many films as I like for a certain fee a month. Would I go out and rush out and go and see it again? Not necessarily. Would I get it on DVD? Of course. Of course. And you guys know how much of a big film buff I am. Look at that. That's just some of my DVDs. Look. I don't play. I don't play. I can't get the fucking camera the way I want it. Fuck around it down. Sorry, see me clearer now. So yeah, for me, it's a good film. Watch it with caution. It feels like a long film, and it is a long film. But I think it's a decent watch. I'll be getting it on DVD. I just hope they change the director for the 5th installment. But let you know what you guys think if you've watched the film. Leave your comments below. Take care. Peace.